your channel. I am live. Hit the thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up for me. Oh, and I posted, just so everyone's aware, I posted a short as to how to rate me on Apple Podcasts. And I am going to, let me see, I'm not sure why my ecosystem is not working, but my copy and paste doesn't seem to be working for some reason. I don't want Linktree offer. Get my algorithm. Okay, let's see. Copy. And let's see if this pastes. Nope. It's still got, for some reason, let's see, I'm going to airdrop it. Airdrop MacBook Pro. This should take forever to airdrop with the speed that this MacBook is. It's waiting. Oh, wait for more people to get on, so talk about more charts. But you see, up right now, let me get the screen up. Safari. We're going to go back to Safari there. Boom. You saw my OBS. It was in a constant state. Oh, and see, this thing is, it's just not moving. I probably have to redo this, but oh well. Let's go to, no. That is, okay, so we're going to start going over everything while this thing waits. CrowdStrike was the big one. It's down at like 130 or something. It's horrific. I'm going to try, you know what? Here, let me do this. Waiting. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to copy. Boom. We'll get this one up there. And then I'm going to paste. And I'll pin. Pin. We'll pin that message up there. So, key point today, TrendSpider. I don't know when the actual deal is done. Let me see. I'm going to go to Safari. We're going to explore the product, view pricing and plans. 15 hours left. So it's $38 a month if you guys want TrendSpider. The Elite, that's the Advanced. The Elite is $32 a month. If I can't make you $32 on a trade, come on. In 1 month, you're out of your mind. I'll lose you that amount of money for sure. But CrowdStrike, it's just weak. CrowdStrike is horrible. CRWD. They are not cash flow positive. Their forward PE is 73. Price to sales is 16. It's just expensive. Down 32% year to date. You can see this is the yearly chart. It's going to be down even more, probably 40% or so. November 30th today, stifled buy to hold with a 120 price target. It's trading, I think, at about 113 in pre-market. So that's the big story of my personal portfolio, by the way, because I still hold it. Unlike advice that I give to everybody else, I am a moron and I do some stupid stuff. So the one that I added in TrendSpider to the core holdings, which I think you guys can pretty safely hold, is Taiwan Semiconductor. And you'll see this is a clear winner right here at $60.90. Now, there is a gap down here to about 74. I would not add at 80. It is up above 80 in pre-market. I think you can buy it around 80 and not be disturbed by it. But in a downturn, Powell speaks at 2 o'clock. You don't want to do too much before 2 o'clock. You don't know what he's going to say. That guy could say, hey, and I probably have to alter this a little. Let me alter OBS a little bit so that this is a little bigger. No, we want... let's see. This is group webcam. We're trying to bust that. No. Let's do this. We're going to make that a little bigger. And we're going to make this a little bigger. It doesn't do anything. Here's what I'll do. Get back. Oh, no. I did too much there. Get you back to TrendSpider. Sorry. You're having to deal with all my problems here, my technical issues. But Taiwan Semiconductor. Yeah, people pop in and out. 30% of you who come into live here aren't subscribed. That's crazy to me. But here, so you're up above the 200-day. The 200-day is right at about 77. In my mind, I think that's where you're healthy, between 74 and 77. I think that's where you buy it. It was added to the long-term portfolio. I like it there. I added that one. Talked about NetTap. That's a cloud company. Got killed on earnings. Workday, another. They're up, actually. We talked about this one in the past. It's a cloud company, but they were up because of buyback news. And here's the chart on Workday. I think you got out, if I remember this one real quick from this morning. Yeah, it got you out right about here with a 4% loss. You don't have confirmation. Its earnings are up. You're probably going to see it go above the 9-day right there. I think it's closer to about 150 in pre-market. It might be 146 or so. But it's clearly using that 200-day as resistance. So I would not expect anything more than 155 in Workday, even with the buyback. There was an interesting one because this one company, HZNP, Horizon Therapeutics, this is a company that put out a press release that they are actually in talks to be bought and purchased. So this is one that, for some reason, you have this ascending triangle, and at $76, it just took off. It's at 78. It's trading at about 130, 120. I'm looking for it on the scroll here just to see where it's at. But let's see. But that ascending triangle is bullish. This is not the one that I want you to trade. By the way, Boyle is down, which means KOLD is up. But this is not the one that I want you to trade. The one that I want you to trade is the one that is actually buying them. Okay, Horizon Therapeutics, 102.60. So it's going to be way above this 200-day. It's going to be just skyrocketing. By the way, ARKF, all the ARKs are up in pre-market. But HZNP is not the one that I want you to trade. It's Amgen. Amgen is one of the ones that they came out with and said, hey, they're one of the ones that's actually in the running to buy us. And so Amgen, you can see it's just been a monster of a stock. I'll go back here. You can see it even better when we look at the daily from a FinViz standpoint. But their PE is 22. They have a good dividend at 2.7%. You're up 25% year to date. In a down market, you're up 25% against healthcare. So you're moving here all the way up here. It's at 281. That is about where it's at. Ironically, it had a cross down yesterday at 23%, a 23% profit. So you had this buy-in September 23rd at 227, and you sold up here at 281 for a 23% gain. The reason I say you want to trade this one, again, you're out. There's a gap down here at 279. If Amgen actually winds up buying Horizon Therapeutics, HZNP, and the price is $100 a share, somewhere around there, because that's what they're trading at. Again, these guys put out a press release that they're in talks. If they buy it, you're going to see Amgen come down here, probably the 200-day at 250. I think at that point, at 250, you're down here. And look where you've got some pretty good support here at 250. So I think that's where you're looking at. If Amgen winds up buying it, that's the play that I think you do. I'll be adding that one to my notes to kind of take a look at, to keep an eye out for, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's the one. Now, the next one that I went over was Boeing. Holy crap. I missed this one. They are rumored to have cash flow positive coming soon. And Boeing's chart is just a freaking monster. You've got this buy-in down here. Boom. The algorithm's working. It's still thinking. 129.40. You're at 178, and you still have positive confirmation. The MACD is kind of trending down, but it hasn't crossed down. It's just kind of there. It's capitulating. You're seeing the RSI kind of come down. It's just making its move. You had this golden cross here on November 16th. Still has positive trajectory. So I think Boeing, in my mind, I don't think that you buy it up here because it's just too rich. I think you probably look at a 150 price point. If it comes all the way down to the 200-day, that's where you're looking, 153. So I think once it gets down to the 150, if it, again, the market kind of turns down, who knows what Powell's going to say? You don't buy it before 2 o'clock today. But I like that one. One that I will probably add to the core portfolio for the podcast. Again, in TrendSpider, I have a core portfolio that you can see. I'll share with you if you're in TrendSpider. I don't know if you can see it if you're outside of TrendSpider, but if you can, great. I mean, it's not proprietary. It's just a good portfolio. But GIS, which is General Mills, this is a good one. Look at this one. You had a buy-in here at 79. You're at 82. It's got that button hook. But when we go over here, this is what I want you to see, the 1-year chart. And everybody can see this. You don't have to be in TrendSpider. This is FinViz. The PE is 17. You're up 22% year to date on this. It's a 2% dividend. But look at that great chart. Yeah, you're at the top. I'd rather see you buying down here near 78, but you've got a great chart here. Yeah, it's daily. This is the full year. You're going back to March here or February. So, again, I like that one. It was a final trade. I don't know that you're breaking this top barrier right there, but I think anywhere between 78 and 82 is probably a good buy on this one. So, another one that was a final trade, and this is just because I was listening to CNBC last night. After the Iranian versus U.S., I thought it was funny that somebody made the joke. This is the first time that the U.S. is fighting in the Middle East over something other than oil. But EEM, This is emerging markets. It's an ETF. 34.80 was the buy, and you're at $39. You just crossed that 200-day. You got some gaps down below. I don't know that you necessarily buy it right now, but keep an eye on it. It's probably a pretty good recovery story. And again, if we go down, EEM's going to go down. You're going to have an opportunity to buy it. There was one of the final trades was to sell SMH because semiconductors are moving down. Well, you know what that means? That means you get into your triple levered SOXS, the directional semiconductor, the bear, 3 times directional. And when somebody thinks that the SMH is going down, and when you look at SOX versus SOXS, SOXL versus SOXS, SOXS looks like it's the better buy. You've got this gap. You did have this death cross of the 50-day under the 200-day. But you do have this capitulation where you've got the RSI down, you got the MACD rising. It's just kind of hanging out in an air territory. 35.12 was your buy-in. You're trading at 35.53. You've got this gap up here that you could move into, which is at 48. And I think that's the most exciting thing about that one. Another final trade where I have to give a apology to Nick on Instagram is Win, because China seems to be opening up, and essentially when China opens up, so does Macau. And so Guy Adami on the final trade thought that Win still has an opportunity to continue upwards. Now Win has been a great trade. 57.55 on October 21st. Boom, you're at $81. What's that, 30%, 40%? No, I'm sorry. It's almost 50%. But that's one that is a good one. Now, the reason I owe Nick an apology is because MLCH, what is it? Let me see. Nick, MLCO. I don't know why I put the H in there. Melco Resorts. I brought this one up yesterday, and I told him I'd rather see in a company that's making money, blah, blah, blah. This one had a legendary day yesterday. It was way up. And look, you're above those Bollinger Bands. And ironically, it had a buy-in at $7.95. You're at $8.12 right now. So $7.95. Great trade, Nick. Fantastic trade. Shows you. Do your homework. Don't listen to some guy on the internet. But I was completely wrong on that one. So Guy Adami does think that casinos still have room to run. They're kind of moving in that direction. So Workday is at $162. It's up $18, by the way. Whew. That was a great trade. Whoever brought that one up playing into earnings, I forget who did, but kudos to that person. It's cloud stocks. It's gotten beaten down. And they're buying back a shit ton of stocks, by the way. Great YouTube video. And it's this one. I will share this one in the comments. Copy. We're going to share this video. It's I got to move it. Will it share over here? Let me see. Paste. There we go. There's the YouTube video that I'm talking about. It's a 2-fund portfolio. And the guy, I hate sending you over to do another YouTube channel, but subscribe to him. He's got great videos, fantastic videos. And those are Vanguard index funds. He talks about how Warren Buffett, I talk all about setting up your core portfolio. Well, this guy does it for you. He sets you up with 2 funds, a bond fund and a stock fund. And he tells you, okay, if your age is between this and this, you should be in growth phase, blah, blah, blah. He does a great job. Watch that YouTube video. If you forget it, go to my podcast. It's in the description of the podcast. And it's on YouTube. So if you follow me anywhere, you should be able to find it. Tom from Twitter brought up BTU. which is a coal company, Peabody. It's coal. For some reason, he's mentioned this to me before, and I thought it was crazy to invest in coal. I'm just not big on it. I thought it wasn't that great. But here's what BTU, Peabody Energy Corporation. The algorithm over 1,000 candles, if you would have bought and sold based on the algorithm, you'd make 513%. If you just bought and held during those 1,000 candles, you'd make 2,180%. Coal is absolutely killing it, according to Tom. And based on this, I'd say absolutely. You win 44% of the time. Your average win is 34%. This one got you in at $24. And see how those candles, I mean, this candlestick right here, that's a 5% move in 1 4-hour candle. That's huge. Got you out, got with a 8% gain, got you back in at 24. You're trading at 32 right now. Crazy good. And the one that actually I think is better if you're itching to buy something right now is Arch. This is I forget the name. It's Midland Arch Resources. And this one, it got you out right here, right after the dividend, with a 5% loss. I think you could get back in on this one. The MACD is close enough down. The RSI is moving up at 47. It's at 150. I think you could buy it at 150. If we go over here and we look at Arch, you're going to see a pretty good symbol. The PE is only 2. It's got a 1% dividend. It's up 87% this year. Now you do have a trend line where it's down, but I think you move back up to those 180 mark, 160 mark. Sorry, 160. So I think that's a good one to look at as well. The next one that I looked at was TQQQ. I don't think you have confirmation in TQQQ. I often say this. Under 20, buy TQQQ. Over 20, you should sell TQQQ. I hope you got out of TQQ before the algorithm got you out or gets you out. It still got you in, I think. You've got gap down here. Got you out with a 0.41 in today's candle, just the candle today. But 18 to 19.50 is your gap right there. I think you're going down to that in a market where we get dragged down by what Powell says. I think that's where you're going. It's an interesting kind of gap. But again, under 20, I'd probably buy this one even without the confirmation because it's going up to 20 at some point in time again. But the one that we do have confirmation on is SQQQ. So remember, there's TQQQ, which is the 3 times levered long term. It's the bull of the QQQ. SQQQ is the bear. So this is the short. And you're right here at 47.71. You had a buy-in at 47.06. You've got this gap here, again, between 53 and 58. I think you could go to fill that gap. You did have this death cross of the 50-day under the 200-day. And I hate to tell you to go short the market. But if I were to pick one or the other, TQQQ or SQQQ, I'd pick SQQQ right now. I think you could easily make 10% in SQQQ and get out. Swing trade. Simple swing trade. So I like that. I posted a video of GM. Some of their cruise cars in San Francisco are causing backlog. And they are, it looks ugly. It's on Twitter. But Tesla, let's look at Tesla. Why didn't I type that in? Tesla, it had a buy-in at, I think, 185, if I'm not mistaken. You're at 184. You're up 2% today. The problem is, and I will still continue to say this, is Elon. Elon is obsessed with Twitter. He's obsessed with Apple potentially taking Twitter off the App Store. He isn't focused on Tesla. So with that, even though he wrote a letter, you have a where is the 200 day on this one? There it is. 200 days up here. So you had this death cross of the 50 day under the 200 day, which indicated there was no way I was going to buy that kind of thing during that time. You did get out with a 1% gain on this one. You could have had a gain there. You got out here with a loss at 195, 185. It looks like you do have confirmation above the 9 day. Looks like it might be moving, but the 50 day is still negative. With the amount of controversy he has with Apple, I probably would not throw a ton of money into this one. I just wouldn't. But the one scan that I had, and the other, let's look at GM. I don't think I looked at GM while I was on the podcast. But GM stock, this has been a bear. I'm not a big fan of GM. But look at that stock move. While you've had Tesla going down, 32.63 on October 13th, you're at 39. 20%. So, really good move in GM stock. Doesn't have confirmation. Bollinger Bands are cinching up. You had this golden cross up here on November 11th. It's kind of moved down since then. Golden crosses aren't always an indication that you're going to win. But that's an interesting chart. Just not a GM fan. The one scan that I did was Baidu. And Baidu, it's Chinese stock. This has been a monster. It's a secondary cross up. It's got all the confirmation in the world. I think you could probably buy in. I wanted to say under 100, but it's trading at 106 right now. I think it's moving towards this 200 day at 120. 118, 119, 120. I think that's where it's moving to. So you could get 10% out of it from this point. But whether you chance it or not, because that's a pretty legendary move from 77 down here all the way up to 100. That's what? 50%, 40%, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I like that one. The one that I've been bullish on for recent is Roblox. And you guys know, because Roblox, I just have this feeling with gift cards. I have feeling with Meta pulling out of the metaverse. I think people are moving more towards Roblox. It does not have confirmation. It traded under 30 in pre-market today. Looks like it's at $30.09, $30.10. We had this buy-in here at $31.50. It does not have confirmation. I would not buy it now. It started to get confirmation in these couple of candles. I said it was a risk. Make sure that you had your stop loss low on this one, but it looks like this one might be getting us out at a loss. If you were to have bought in, I did not, because I didn't see the confirmation. I did not buy into this one, but I think if it goes under 30, I think you're looking at trying to fill this gap up here. And the gap is, that death cross right there. I think you're moving, I'm sorry, not the gap, but you're moving more towards the 200 day. So I think that's it. 28 minutes. That's all I looked at today. Any questions from anybody? People are quiet. Man, there's 6 people watching, but everybody seems quiet. I might be late. I might have logged on late, and that might be why people just didn't log on. But let's see. I think my portfolio's up today. I hope it's up today, because I was down big yesterday. I'm up 0.31%. But again, you don't want to trade anything until Powell speaks. I'm pacing the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is up 0.34. So, portfolio check. My laptop is not shipped from Amazon yet. I ordered that on Monday. It said expected delivery Friday. But it has not shipped yet. my assumption is they're shipping a shit ton of laptops to their distribution centers, and then that will update at that point in time, but we'll see what happens. I probably should have just gone into Best Buy and just bought it in person, but I couldn't find it anywhere in person. So, okay, with no questions, I am going to get out. Remember, like me on Apple Podcasts, and rate me on the Spotify podcast as well. And if remember, 15 hours for the TrendSpider deal. If you want charts like this, I'll give you my algorithm. You can see entry, exits. You can see all that stuff. I'll share the core portfolio with you. It's $30 a month. Come on. If you're not trading and making $30 a month, why are you watching me? You should absolutely be making more than $30 a month trading. Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, I'm losing in my core portfolio, but you want to have that core portfolio so that in good times, it's making you money, because over the long term, buying and holding makes you money. You want this short-term portfolio to provide you some expertise, some practice, some exposure. God, Exxon's up at 111. Okay. Since everybody's quiet, I'm assuming you're all bots. Is everybody a bot? Do I have bots just watching me? But I think you guys log in at work and just kind of listen to me talk. I have a noontime appointment to introduce the dogs to other dogs for daycare. Anybody want to hear that story? Hello? Is the mic on? I'm assuming you guys can hear me. Time appointment to introduce. Yeah, you guys can hear me. I just turned it up. I know you can hear me. Boom, boom, boom. But it's all bots that are watching. Okay. Those are all the charts that I went over. Chase. Good morning. Glad you're not all bots. I think it said the peak yesterday there were 40 people watching. But peak most day is like 6 to 10. So I do think that there were a shit ton of bots yesterday that were watching. I just can't believe, Chase, that 30% of the people that tune in for the live don't subscribe. And that's over time. My assumption is it's still probably the same 30% that are tuning in and just aren't subscribed. But I also think that, I also think the YouTube algorithm is messed up because the top demographic, the top geographies in the last 30 days, I pointed this out on Twitter and Instagram yesterday. Only 45% of you are from the United States. 26% are from Greece. Where did I get all of this Greece interest? I don't know. I have no freaking clue. Library. Your videos. Yeah. Chase, you got any questions since you're the only one talking? If not, I'm going to go get my day started. I really like that 2Fund. Click on this dude's YouTube video up there that I posted just a couple of chats up. He's got a great channel. He does well on his videos. I wish I could make videos like that. I'm just not that good. I shouldn't say that I'm not that good. I'm just not that. I don't have the attention span to do it. Okay, who's got questions? Because there's more people joining. That's pretty funny. Hot down to babies. Jason, I think it's boring, man. You don't want to be, I'm not risking my money today. Crazy to do that. Powell Speaks at 2 o'clock, man. Second that MFer comes out and says, yeah, we don't have inflation under control. Market's going to freaking tank. Absolutely tank. Let's see if I get any feedback. Man, see this laptop, I need that new laptop. This laptop just crawls. Portfolio snapshot. Puru, if you don't follow Puru, he's pretty good. He's long BIL, SOXS, UVIX, and ZTF, short ESF and XLE. He's short the XLE. He's been freaking. Hey Ed, welcome. Let me do Neo. Let me see who liked me on Twitter though. There's Tom's thing on BTU and Arch. I've been wrong on that one. So my thoughts on Neo. Neo, God, when I started trading Neo it was before the pandemic. It was a $2 stock. You traded it up to $3 and then you got out and then it went back to $2. And so you bought it at $2. Then it went back to $1, blah, blah, blah. And rinse and repeat. Neo has fantastic technology of, boosting payouts. I'm looking at CNBC on their Devon Energy, 7%, Coterra Energy, 8%, Pioneer, 10%. Those are dividends. But Neo has a fantastic technology of battery swapping. So essentially in China, you buy a Neo car, and instead of recharging, you battery swap. So you get a new battery. Now it's on a lease. So you do pay a monthly lease to get a new battery every now and then, every time you need it. The cost is high. China's funding it. Blah, blah, blah. It's a good thing. Here's what I think about the stock. I think the stock is overvalued. But I say that in the fact that it has been overvalued since it started. Now at 10.51, you can see it spiking up to 12.47. Let's take a look here. I don't think that they're making money. Let's see. No, they're not making money. So their PE is empty. They're down 66% year to date. That's a stock chart that I wouldn't invest in long term. But, it's China, man. The one thing I learned when I traded this one in the past was they were almost bankrupt. That's disgusting. Jim Cramer is opening up a can of Spam and drinking the freaking juices out of the Spam can. Ugh. But the one thing I learned about Neo, they were almost bankrupt, and I think the stock was at like $1. And then all of a sudden, China stepped in and gave them a bunch of money. So here's a Motley Fool article. Why it's 6% higher. It's up 6% in the day. I wouldn't chase them. Surge Tuesday morning in the second day of trading volatility. Spiked Monday as reports spread of public protests across China over the country's strict zero COVID policy. The stock gave up those early gains Monday, but the situation is fluid and shares soared nearly 8% in early trading Tuesday. Beyond dynamic situation in COVID, there was news out Tuesday that is specific to the electric vehicle maker. Neo and Chinese tech giant Tencent have agreed to work together on developing autonomous driving technology. So the other thing that I know about Neo is, what is it? There's another one, another Chinese automaker. Oh, what is it? Let me see. Chinese EV automaker. I think it's EV something. Xpeng. Xpeng is one where a Tesla engineer wound up going to XPEV. It's XPEV is the symbol. We'll wait for it to come up. But an X autonomous, it was specific to, he was one of the engineers on Tesla's autopilot. And then XPEV says, hey, all of a sudden we have full self-driving. Well, it comes out and it looks exactly like Tesla's full self-driving. So this one, and it looks like it's spiked as well. Look at the gap up here. If I move in, look, right after their earnings. So we can look at that. It's probably spiking because of earnings and stuff. And the same thing that NIO's doing. I would, if you wanted to trade them, I would trade them on a short-term basis. I would show you Active Trader Pro. The problem with me showing you Active Trader Pro is I'm on this old 2015 MacBook Pro, and it doesn't work when I have OBS, which is the software that I use to broadcast to you guys. It doesn't work when I have it up there. So, but my thoughts on NIO are the same as Tesla. If Tesla's going to do good, NIO's going to do good. If NIO's going to do good, XPEV is going to do good. It's about China. Specifically, Tesla is more about China than anything else. But Tesla's getting beaten down right now. It's because Elon is picking a fight on Twitter with Apple. And I'm not saying he's not justified to pick a fight with Apple. I think Apple's 30% fee, as a stockholder, freaking love it. As a small business person, not so much. If you're taking 30% of my revenue, as a small business owner, even as a large business owner, I mean, look at Peloton. Peloton's a great example. They have an app. They charge $12.99 for it a month. How in the world are you taking 30% of my $12.99 when I can't make money? And again, Peloton is good. Oh, by the way, look at Cleveland Cliffs. I need to add this one into the favorites. You guys know I always talk about, and Ed, you may not have listened for a long time, but man, Cleveland Cliffs has been one that I've been touting for a while. It's an iron ore maker. And you're welcome, Ed. Always happy to help. But it hangs around this 200 day. And when it was at 13, I said, buy it at 13 because I think it's going to go up to that 200 day. And what the F happened? Why don't I listen to my own freaking thing? Ugh. Job openings, 10.3 million versus 10.5 million estimate. That's a good thing. We don't have as many job openings. That's a good thing. Look at that. Still has confirmation. It's kind of gotten the button hook, though. If you're in at 1365, I'd probably get out. You got your 10%. Definitely got your 10%. That's all I'm looking for there. Morning, Justin. Yeah. All of a sudden, I got 9 viewers. I mean, I was just bitching that I only had 5 viewers. Now I got 9. I've doubled my viewership. I posted the podcast already, so I ain't going over any more stock. If you want to listen to the podcast, you're going to have to listen to the podcast to see what I recommended. I'm not going over it again. But Edman, trade NIO short term. Now, mind you, NIO, I'll tell you a good story. So me and my buddy Scott, me and my buddy Steve were trading NIO, and Scott comes in and he's like, yeah, I should buy NIO. He buys NIO at, I think, $2. And this was pre-pandemic. I think he bought NIO at $2. And he didn't buy a whole ton of it. He bought, a little bit. But he bought NIO at $2. And it all of a sudden goes down to like $1.50 or something like that. he then kind of comes to me and he's like, should I sell it? Is it going down to 50 cents? I said, it's a Chinese automaker. They're going bankrupt. I don't think you should sell it because I think the Chinese government will step in just because it's an automaker and they want to be the leaders in EV, blah, blah, blah. And he said, okay, I won't sell it. I said, but if you get up near that $2, I'd probably be thankful that you got it. You can buy more at 1, or you can just wait till it gets to 2. I said, I don't think it's going bankrupt, so I don't think you're going to 0. So then it was like 2 days later, I think it's back up to $2. He goes, you think I should sell it? And I took a look at it and I said, it's as easy to go to 3 as it is back down to 1. I said, I don't know. And he said, okay, I'm so unsure. I'm losing sleep over this one. I'm going to wind up getting out of this one. So he wound up getting out, I think, at about $2.50. Literally a week later, I think the stock was up near 40. It was a crazy, crazy time. SRC, man, I went over that yesterday for you, I thought, Justin. I love the freaking dividend. And I think it's done well for the year. But I think it had that button hook, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you got that button hook. Let's see what the algorithm says. Boom, 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 boom. It's coming up. 35.68. The algorithm still has you in, but you're below that 9-day. And that 9 days coming down to that 21. You're hugging the 200-day. If you break that 200-day, you're probably going to cover down to 39. So, but I love that. What's that dividend? Let's see. Dividend was good. Yeah, 6% dividend. Year to date, you're only down 15%. PE's 21, so it is expensive. I'd probably trade this one. The algorithm makes you 8%. Buying and holding makes you 9%. You're 28 positions within 1,000 candles, and you win 30% of the time. Your average win is 6%. It's not horrible. Yeah, Justin, I think you hit me up on with YouTube comments yesterday. I don't think I went over it. I think I went over it on the. I thought I went over it on the YouTube live. Was it yesterday? Hold on. Let me look. Tuesday. Oil went crazy. Wednesday. Might have been Monday. I know I had it in my notes. I don't see it. For Jordy. I know I went over it at some point in time. I had it in my notes. Oh, Tuesday, yesterday, yeah. Pine and SRC for Justin from YouTube. Yes. Justin, I will tell you too, Google and look up stochastics. If you like RSI and Bollinger Bands, stochastics are good as well. Back tests are easy. Justin, you got TrendSpider? If you got TrendSpider here, we're going to Google TrendSpider back strategy tester. I'll post it in the chat too. It's from 2 years ago, but it hasn't changed that much that you shouldn't be able to use this. This is just how to set it up. I'll put it in the chat window once my computer starts thinking a little bit better.
Hey guys, Zach with TrendSpider here.
I don't even think Zach does videos anymore, by the way. But this is a great bookmark. This one, man. Bookmark that. That is a fantastic video on TrendSpider, how to use the backtester. And that was what I used to build the algorithm, because I built that in 2020. If you guys don't know the story on the algorithm, essentially what happened, God, now I got all of a sudden have a bunch of people watching, but the algorithm was built because me and my buddy left our jobs in January of 2020, and we decided we wanted to trade. And COVID hit, and both of us lost. I mean, everybody lost a shit ton of money during COVID. And both of us said we want to build something where we can see if we think we're going to lose that amount of money. So, for instance, right here. This one right here. I mean, this is Spirit Capital. Right here, you're below that 9-day, and the MACD has crossed down. No reason not to get out of that. Now, I don't use it for my entire portfolio because, again, you want to identify quality companies and buy and hold those quality companies. But for a certain portion of your portfolio, if you're going to go through COVID and you're going to continue to see these slowdowns and these things, you probably want to sell out of your portfolio and then build it back up again. That's just something that if you prefer to do that, you can absolutely do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. I prefer to buy and hold, so I pretty much do that. But the reason why we built that algorithm was we were heavily invested in growth stocks, and we said, hey, we're going to get killed through growth stocks. Essentially what happened with the government printing money. So I think it was around July when we found TrendSpider, and we had built up a kind of look at MACD and stochastics, and we were using a lot of Active Trader Pro setups with Fidelity, but it didn't do a good job of quote unquote predicting. And so we wanted a back tester that was able to predict as well as could be happening, because you can't predict the future. Nothing can predict. So essentially what we did, we played with it. And I want to say from July 2020 until I'd say April 2021, we tested the shit out of everything. And those of you that have the algorithm and I've helped set it up in TrendSpider for you, you can see how simple it is. We went through probably thousands of differences in time frame. We went all the way down to I think 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. We even tried the TrendSpider recommended 65-minute window. It just didn't work as well as we thought it could, and we did different SMAs, EMAs, stochastics, Bollinger Bands, RSI. We included, I think during one point in time, our algorithm included 62 different lines of code. And it didn't work as well as this one. This one has one entry point and two exits. I mean, it's as simple as can be. And what it doesn't outperform in a growth market, in a bull market. But it overperforms in a bear market. So typically when a stock goes down, and again, you're looking for volatile stocks to trade in that algorithm because that's what you want. You want something that goes up and down big because then you get it out. That's why I like the triple levered ETFs, because you can get in and out, and the algorithm tells you you better get the fuck out because it's going down. Hey, Zephin, your airports weren't working. Yeah, time frame on the algorithm is 4 hour. 4 hour on the algorithm. We tried 1 hour. I can give you some guidance, Justin. If you change the algorithm that I gave you to 1 hour to 2 hour to even daily, it just doesn't work as well. Doesn't work as well at all. 4 hour was the kind of sweet spot that we found. And the problem we had typically was when we were back testing in late 2020 and early 2021. When we were back testing, we had COVID, and that COVID drop was skewing a lot of things. And so we had to account for COVID for some of those huge drops. But that was good and bad. We had to account for it, but we also wanted to see where it got us out in the COVID. And so when we back tested, we said, okay, where did it get us out? Are we safe? And specifically, we wanted to look at some of the big stocks like Apple, Amazon, some of the ones that were driving the NASDAQ down further. And then it drove them up after COVID even faster than the rest because anything technology-wise was just flying. Zephan, should I tell you to listen to the podcast? No. 2 o'clock. 1:30, the Beige Book, which basically gives some stats that Powell will speak on at 2 o'clock. And then he's going to take some questions, and he could crash the market. He could make the market soar. My suggestion, don't do anything until he speaks. But I had a couple of cross-ups today. I think Baidu was the only cross-up. The one that I still like for setup. I went over Roblox. Why you should still think that Roblox is probably have your stop loss set on Roblox. But I like SOXS. I just don't think that, the semis ran so much. Look at this. You're 17% down from that. See, you were trading this one, you were SOXS, you were trading at 60. What, 2 weeks ago? Can't tell me that that's going to stay down there at 30. You got this gap up here. I see, and you're above the 9-day. So I think it's showing some signs that the market is a little weak. It's going to go down. SOXS is your play. So, but I was just about to get off here. Because, Zephan, it's early for you. It's only 7 o'clock. But it's 10 o'clock for me. And I'm still waiting on my new computer, man. This sucks with this old computer, but end of the week, it says. It still hasn't shipped. I wish somebody in my podcast listened to or on YouTube Live. I'm putting in tomorrow's Thursday. SOXS is what I'm putting in there. And Roblox. We'll see how those did. Yeah, SOXL was clear. If you listen to me, SOXL was clear. Take your profits. It was clear twice. I should say I was wrong the first time. I saw the button hook happening. And it actually didn't happen. I'm up 0.36 today. Market check. I'm up 0.36 and the market's up 0.31. The NASDAQ, I should say. So, SQQQ, I just went over that one. I think I said, you must not have been listening, Justin. SOXL, look, it's clear. I mean, you got this gap down here. It's using that 200 days support as a resistance level. Clear as day. Clear as day, that 200 days, the resistance level. And I went over on the podcast. I should make you guys listen to the podcast, but I don't care. I don't get paid for that stuff. I don't have ads running on it. I need to. TQQQ was trading. It was trending towards 20. And I think this gap here down between 18 and 1960 is probably going to get filled. And I just say that based on, look at the volume. Volume levels are going down. The MACD's kind of just hovering around there. The RSI is going down. I think that at least this top level of the gap kind of gets filled at 1961. I still think 20 is your pivot point on that one. And if I had to pick TQQQ or SQQQQ, SQQQ would be my play, and you'll see why. There's a gap that's up above it, and I think it's got the confirmation above that 9-day. The only problem is that you have to cross the 200-day to get to this gap. So you're using the 200-day right now as a resistance level. I would not probably fight it, and I would wait till it crosses about 48 or 49, because I think if it crosses that 48 or 49, I think that 53 to 59 gap is within range. But you do have a confirmation if you want to buy it and you want to gamble. But remember, it's a triple inverse levered short. It moves quick, so put your stop losses in. There's just Google inverse ETF. If you think that there's this particular sector that you want to focus on, you can just Google that. DRV is the housing market. I think there's one guy. Hold on, let me look at my. Let me see messages. It is Corey. Corey's, I think, the one on Instagram. He likes the home builders, DHI, DR Horton, and stuff. But you can see DRV. We had a buy-in there at 53.76. Still hasn't gotten you out of that one. Still hasn't crossed down the MACD. But that 53.76 down here at 51, the housing market is kind of using that 200-day. It's underneath the 200-day. So it's using it as resistance right now. But if it gets above 53 again, you got 56 to 61 in your target. What did I send you? Justin, did I send you the algorithm? Send me a message on Instagram or Twitter or email. Click the down below. There's a link tree. Just message me. I'll get you set up in TrendSpider. In TrendSpider, I've got 3 things that I think I made public. The core investments, and that's a custom list that I did of stocks. And why is this not coming up now? And I did this in TrendSpider. I gotta redo this. My computer's just... Oh, okay. Did you send me a message on Insta? I don't see it. Requests. I don't see it on Instagram. Justin, I'm looking. Ah, there you are. Okay. You want my algo? I got you on here. Entry. Okay, Justin. Justin, you're awesome. Justin, when you have that set up, I'm going to get off here in a little bit. Don't worry about setting it up right now. But when you have that set up, what I'm telling everybody is once you have it set up, send me a message and I will send you a link to an Apple chart. And that's what I'm using just because you guys know I love Apple. Send me a message and we'll look at your entry and exits. Because once you have the algorithm, you can see on the screen here, you'll see these entries and you'll see these exits. And down in the bottom right, you'll also see a performance chart of the algorithm, and you can kind of just take a look and see that it's exactly the same. If it's exactly the same, you've got it set up correctly, and everything that I tell you it will be on the podcast, on the YouTube live. It'll be clear. And the Cash App is the text that I got. I'm on Do Not Disturb because I learned early. I think it was one of my first or second podcasts. Somebody complained on the chats that my texts were too loud. Zephin, so here's Zephin. I'll tell you. Mike Wilson, who is, I think he's Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan, I forget, but he's a good analyst. He's kind of the inverse of Tom Lee. Mike Wilson has been bearish for 5 years now, 6 years now during the entire bull market. He was on last night, and their analyst, in my mind, is correct. I think you're looking at an S&P that's between 3,300 and 4,000 during the entire year next year. If that's the case, the S&P right now, I think it's at 39 something. Let me see. The S&P is at 39.46. This is as good as it's going to get unless you trade. So, when you get excited like that and you're like, oh, I want to see a payoff, blah, blah, blah. That's where you should probably set up a couple of different portfolios, one that's short-term, one that's long-term, because I don't want you to get out of the long-term just because we go down to 3,300. I want you to add to your long-term when we get to 3,300. You want to add, I just had a mentor session with a friend yesterday, and I said, you never buy on up days. You always buy on down days. There's no way you buy on up days. Wait till it pulls back a little bit. And so when you see that trend upward, again, it's not always straight up, and there's not, there's gaps on the way up, but there's pullbacks, and you want to wait on the way down. So, okay, 7 people watching. People have gotten bored with me because I got the same damn chart up. One that I love, and I think I've gotten people in at like the 170 price and stuff, Snowflake. When's their earnings? Their earnings are coming up. Earnings are today? Yeah. Today after the bell. Ironically, you're out of this name. It'll be interesting. I think this is I think Zephin, I told you to sell your IBM and get into Snowflake. So here's Snowflake. Here's the dangerous part. You're covering this gap down to 127, but you haven't covered it completely. This is the 200-day is right here. It's up at 164. So you're either popping up to the 200-day or you're setting all-time lows. One or the other. Yeah, Zephyr, you'll be good. I mean, you can't get too excited about stuff. I was excited in 2000. It took me until 2010 to really get excited. Because all that money I had put in 2000, you have to continually add. I think there was a compounding. I sent just look up if I invested $100 in this stock, where would it be today? And you'll find I think it's one of the top 5 links, and you can put in $100 into this and blah, blah, blah. You want to continually add to your pot. Merck, man, that's weekly stock picks stock this week. Dude, if you're not, by the way, if you're listening to me and you're not subscribed to his newsletter, you're out of your freaking mind. That guy's up 9%. I am not up 9% this year. That guy's got a better strategy than trading. He buys on Monday, sells sometimes during the week. Merck, legendary. September 22nd, $87 buy-in. You're starting to get the button hook. But, Justin, you'll have my algorithm, and you'll see, the exit portion of it. We're close to an exit, but you're seeing a button hook. I think you started to see a button hook here. You started to see a button hook. Still didn't get you out. None of these button hooks got you out. I want to say that we're coming back probably to a volume shelf level, which would be about 100. I'd say 100 is probably your pivot point on Merck, but good for you, Justin. I'm not up 1%, Zephyr. I'm down. I'm honest with you guys. I mean, I buy and hold. The majority of my portfolio is buy and hold. I'll tell you, year to date, I'm down 27%, 27.32%. So, and Justin, man, if you have a full-time job and you're a full-time student, tip me when you start really making money. Snowflake's up positive for the day, by the way. I think the market's doing pretty well. Let me see. Am I up 1%? I'm up 0.24%. So why the hell are things doing good? What's up 10%? There was just something that was up 10%. CrowdStrike is down 18%. BABA is up 10%. Guys, remember when I told you BABA may be worth the risk? Now, my buy-in on BABA is like $211, so it's definitely worth the risk. Broke through the 200-day. But I said it was worth the risk here. I said it's probably good to sell out here because you had that button hook and you had too many gaps down. I was wrong. Algorithm right. Held you in 68. You're at $88 right now. Crazy. Crazy. Crazy good. Okay. With that, I got to go prepare for a doggy play date. Justin, hit me up. Once you have that set up, don't worry about any time. You can hit me up and I'll shoot you a live. I don't want to shoot you a link to the Apple stock until you have it set up because it's a live look. So I want you to have the exact entry or exit, whichever one it is, and the results. So, and Zephyr's all set up, by the way, on his algorithm. I hope you guys are finding value in it. I am going to set up more stuff like watch lists, some additional scanners. And the watch list, the scanner that I have set up, I can share that with you as well if you don't have it. I think I put it out on Instagram and on Facebook. If you're not in the Facebook group, you should join the Facebook group. I'm a little leery of putting it out on Twitter and stuff like that just because I get some trolls from Twitter. But And I am in contact with TrendSpider as well. TrendSpider is pretty good, and they're going to partner with me. They're not responding to some messages that I sent them late last week, but I think it's just they were overwhelmed. They're having some good responses to their Black Friday sale. And again, every year it's their Black Friday sale. That's why I sign up for a year, because I'm like, I know I'm going to use it through the year. And if I don't make you $30 in a month, again, you're paying $30 a month, or you're paying $300, I think, for the year if you prepay. But yeah. Okay, with that, I am out. I think you can reply to Zephan, Justin. 10 people watching. I think we had about 18 or 19 at one point. And 30% of you aren't even subscribed. People should subscribe. I do this every day. Every day the market's open, I'm live on YouTube. I do my podcast. Look at the link tree down below. If you want the charts that I'm doing, just sign up for TrendSpider through the link below. They're having their Black Friday sale. I provide you watch lists. I'm not going to trade for you. I'm never going to send you a text. I'm never going to do anything like that. I'm not that douche. My name is not Zach. And I don't play lacrosse. But, and remember, I did put out a short. If you're in a bar, if you're in a family group setting, grab their phone, rate me on Spotify if they have Spotify downloaded, rate me on Apple Podcasts if they have that loaded. Just start grabbing people's phones. Justin, if you it's Visible. Visible's down below too.
They're standing at the door. They have to go out.
No, they're fine. You're good.
You're on the phone, otherwise your father would take them out.
Okay. Yeah, Visible is great. Facebook, Justin, if you go into the link tree, there's a Facebook logo up top. It'll lead you right to the group. Visible's awesome. Yeah, and use that link because I think you get $20 and I get $20. I get it off my phone service, so I just use it that way. Your eyes are so stained. Okay. I got to go take care of the dogs. I will see you guys later. See you tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow. We'll see what Powell says.